So, hello and welcome to the conversation part thing, whatever, in which I'm going to talk to all of my allies, including the romantic thing, because I want my warden to be together with Morrigan, since that way more mage. Yeah, I did play a warden that was together with Liliana. I did play a warden that was together with Morrigan. Don't think I've played the game through with any female wardens so far, but yeah. So let's see. I'll start off right off with Morrigan because of that. So let's see. Hello, Morrigan.
I have a thought.
Oh, what's on your mind?
We have an opportunity that I believe we should take advantage of. To the point. My mother was once divested of a particular grimoire by a most annoying Templar hunter. It occurred long before I was born, but even today, Flemeth speaks of the loss with great rage. With the circle of Magi in such disarray, it occurs to me that this might be the perfect time to recover the tome from their possession, for surely it eventually ended up in their hands.
What do you think that... No, wait. Very well. If we go back to the tower, I'll look for it. By which I mean...
Good. I am most interested to see its contents, should it be located. The grimoire is leather-bound and adorned with the symbol of a leafless tree, should you come across it. If not, however, then I shall simply put it out of my mind.
Everyone of the party has a few quests for the player. Let's see if I already have acquired it, since it is in the cycle. Seems like I have not. Okay, then I will have to check out the place again. Which I will do off screen, so see you in a second. Okay, so I'm back and I've got the book Morrigan was talking about. So I'm gonna give it to her as a gift. That's how it works. So that's that. There it is, the Black Grimoire.
What? You found Flemeth's grimoire? When I spoke of it to you, I did not truly hope... This is a most fortuitous event. You have my thanks. I will begin study of the tome immediately.
You're welcome.
I do not intend to squander this opportunity to learn more than Flemeth wished me to know. This should be... interesting.
Okay, now... What... Morrigan is at... 61% approval. Warm. So let's see.
I await your command.
So life in the woods must have been very lonely, right?
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
But you eventually left?
Such simple pleasures will only enthrall for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
I can't imagine Flemeth was pleased.
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
But you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
They made you stronger, didn't they?
They did indeed. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Okay, so...
I await your command.
I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Let's see. Did you grow up in the Kokari Wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You can probe me anytime. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna choose that.
Beg pardon then while I jump for joy. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
You remained unnoticed?
For the most part. Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring. That sounds much like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be travelling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped, and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
Right, I'm an elf, I forgot about that. Touching? Like a handshake?
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes, how to eat at a table, how to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Well, I'm glad it worked out this way at least.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Okay, I seem to be very good at this. Let's try again.
It's cold in my tent, all alone.
Well, we can't have that.
So you shall come to my tent? But whatever shall we do in that tiny little space together while we wait for it to warm?
I'll leave that up to you.
Good. Then let us waste no more time with foolish talk.
So yeah, that. Yeah. Good thing I will cut that out. Anyways, even though it's not that bad. Anyways, oh, there are such stories.
Indeed there are. The unanswered question, of course, is whether the endurance exists because of the taint within you, or because the Grey Wardens are by nature so very healthy. I enjoy the thought that 'tis a little of both. Natural prowess, driven by a darker side.
So what now?
That is entirely up to you. Simply know that I have no designs on your independence. I wish only to do what I desire, and if that coincides with what you desire, then so be it. And should you decide not to continue our misadventure, then so be it. Very simple, is it not?
And what about love? Does that ever enter the picture?
Oh, now you ruin the mood by speaking profanities. Silly man. Come then, let us be off before the others begin to stare.
Yeah, so Morrigan should be now... Yeah, I think that is about it. Actually I do not know, because if I wouldn't have unlocked the achievements yet, I would get an achievement if my protagonists were together with Morrigan. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, see you in a second. I'm gonna make a cut. Also, I am sorry. I am not good with such things. Yeah, I'm awkward when it's about anything that direction. Yeah. So yeah, let's just talk to Morrigan again, I guess.
I have something for you.
What do you mean?
I mean that I have a gift for you. 'Tis a ring. Now before you get any foolish notions, let me explain. Flemeth once gave me the ring because it allowed her to find me no matter where I went, in case I was ever captured by hunters. I disabled its power as soon as we left the wilds. Recently, however, I thought to change it. Now, I will be able to find whoever wears it instead.
So you will always know where I am?
'Tis not to track you, you understand. I believe you are too important to risk. If you were to get captured, however, it would be far easier to find you with this.
Thank you for the gift.
You are welcome. Perhaps it will be useful someday.
Let's see. Morrigan's ring. I will put it on just because. Yeah, just because actually. On healing effects. Actually, that might be a good ring for me, so I guess I'm gonna give her the lucky stone then. Yeah, so that's that. Anything else? Well, let's just keep talking. I guess I'm gonna make one episode for each character, so yeah. That's that then. So, hello Morrigan. I'd like to discuss something personal.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Yeah, choice one, I guess.
What's this? 'Tis a rather odd discussion you seem to desire, leaning in so closely.
Do you object?
Not unless you stop.
Okay, so now They must be good, right? I guess I'm gonna give it a little push with some... Wait, this is the present thing. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
I guess that little boost. Let's just continue with talking. I'd like to discuss something personal.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
Yeah, let's see, we need to discuss us.
Discuss away.
We've never talked about our nights together.
What is there to speak of? Do you wish me to tell you how wonderful you are? Shall I say you are virile and manly?
Only if you really want to.
I prefer action over words. Why don't you prove it to me?
Okay, I guess I need to cut right away again. Okay, I'm gonna choose one. I like the idea. Let's do that.
Good. I hate long discussions.
Okay, I didn't even need to cut. That's great. I'd like to ask you something.
So, full of questions, are you?
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I've heard little of it.
No doubt such a tale has mutated much over time and telling. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago is this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his wife to another man?
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Ozen then?
That was not the point. Conabar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see, chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
which she never invaded, or he never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
How do you know? How is it that Flemeth survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
An interesting story. Wait, before I'm gonna end this, I'm gonna ask her if she believes it, because that's interesting, I guess.
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
There's nothing really to say about her. It's kind of sad what choices I have there.
I see. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not. Let us move on.
I actually hoped I could have said more than just that. Like, I can't tell much about her because I was brought to the cycle of Mage with a young age or something like that. You know. Anyways, let's see. I'm gonna make a little cut and take a look at something, so see you in a second. Okay, so for Morrigan's second quest, I will need to re-enter camp, but the second quest is a bit harder, which involves fighting and stuff, so it's gonna be in the main story. In a normal episode, that is. But later on, I will deal with her quest later on, so yeah. This is it for Morrigan's special, I guess, so until next time, bye!